Hello, my name is Crazy Little Squirrel on PlayStation, and I'm pretty sure on YouTube too. I don't bother looking at my YouTube name or whatever. But today I'm going to be talking about ships and ships that could be added to the World of Warships Legends because the way I've seen in feedback, I've seen people voicing in Discord and throughout the community. Wargaming needs the wargaming team responsible for World of Warship Legends needs to do a better job at the distribution of ships. Recently, for the campaign video was teased for the new um campaign ship, which on PC is the Tier 9 Japanese battleship Iwami, which people are really disappointed about because they're tired of seeing battleships because so far in terms of Tier 8 campaigns we've only had we in the order it was Republic, uh Musashi, Kronstadt, Hayate, Pommern, and then and then Carnot. Or no, and then before the Pommern and Carnot, we had Marlborough and Marco Polo, and most of those ships are battleships aside from the Carnot, Kronstadt, and Hayate, and it's really disappointing because there are quite a few non-battleship ships that they could add. I don't know why they're doing battleships. I wish I knew, and I wish that the community knew because they get terrible at community communication. I wish they had like blog posts explaining why they're doing battleships a whole lot and stuff like that. And honestly, I wish there was better communication with the community. I wish the CCs the CCs actually could like tell the community what's going on and stuff, but really they can't. So in terms of destroyers, there really isn't anything they could have for U.S. destroyers. Cruisers, we have the Vallejo, the Tulsa and Vallejo. Um, I don't know about as for tier 10, I really don't know. I don't know about the Forrest Sherman, and that's really it. Forrest Sherman, they would have to do a lot of balancing with it, considering what I have heard from PC. Um, for cruisers, you have the Austin, Salem, Puerto Rico, Tulsa, and Vallejo. For battleships, Ohio, I'd rather see as a steel ship. I feel like it would make a great steel ship. Louisiana, actually, no, Louisiana would be part of the hybrid carrier, so I don't think so. Vermont, Illinois, Kearsarge, but we don't have any hybrid ships yet. No hybrid ships yet, and so on. Of course, no carry. Really carriers don't make sense. Now to Japan, we have ships like uh, there really is no Japanese DDs that they could add because they already have Hayate, which with Hayate being in the game, it could be tier 10 ships could be uh tier 9 on Legends. On here we have something like the Kitakami, um, the Zao, which would more likely be a legendary ship actually. Um, and that's really about it. And we really aren't going to talk about battleships. I mean, the only battleships they have that they could realistically add for here is something like the Dyson, Iwami, which is already coming, and then the Hezen, but no one really wants to hear about battleships. For Russia, we have um mainly the Nutrashimi. I don't know really how to speak Russian. There's also uh the Grozovoy. For cruisers, we got Sevastopol, Smolensk, Petropavlovsk, Alexander Nevsky, Moskva, and that's about it. battleships, which really no one cares about, which I really want to see a legendary battleship for Russians come in, like something like the Kremlin, Slava maybe. Um, but there is another thing I'll address later, and that is for Wargaming to alternate between a tier 8 and a tier 7 campaign, in which we'll go through all of the other all the tier 8s on PC that are not ships on Legends yet, after we cover all the tier 9s and 10s that they could possibly add. For Germany, they could add Z52 or the Z42, Z44. Again, Germans don't have a legendary destroyer, so I don't know which one would be there because I don't play PC. There's Hindenburg, which would likely be legendary. Admiral Schroeder, Ajir. No one really cares about BBs, but these are the BBs from like you have something like the Prussian, Mecklenburg. Those I don't know. UK, they really don't have much for destroyers. Aside from the Druid. For here, we have Monmouth, Gibraltar, Goliath like will be a legendary tier, and that's really about it. No one really cares about BBs, but there's the Thunder, but incomparable. France, nothing really in terms of DDs, cruisers, Marseille, Henry IV. That's really about it. Um, and really nothing in terms of BBs either. Then again, who cares about BBs? Commonwealth. You have the Hector, Brisbane, Vampire 2, Italy. You have the Venezia, which would probably be a legendary tier. And that's about it. No one really cares about battleships, but there's the battleships. Pan Asia. There's the Yu Yang. But no, that would actually likely be a legendary. There's the Dalian. Jinan. That's about it. I know I would care about the Wu Jing or the Sun Yat Sen or the Baiji. Europe. You have some of the Ragnar, Smolensk, Gdansk, Holland, Velos. In America, nothing really for them. Netherlands, probably nothing for them. Yeah. Spain, probably the Alvaro de Bazan. And now on to the idea of alternating between tier 7 and tier 8s. I mean, tier 8's a really jumbled up mess. And going back to starting with the USA again, in terms of what they could have for a tier 7 campaign, um, there really isn't anything for that. Cruiser wise, we have the San Diego, Congress, Anchorage, Constellation. That's about it. And even a tier 7 carrier, like Graf Zeppelin, I'm pretty sure that was a no, I don't think Graf Zeppelin We only really had one carrier campaign, and that was Independence, but I'm pretty sure most people took Black over it. But if we were to get a carrier campaign that was tier 7, some good options would be something like Enterprise, Hornet, going over to Japan. Really nothing in terms of DDs because some of these are event related. Cruisers, Tone. That's really about it. Battleships. Then again, no one cares really. Nothing really for battleships. Oh wait, going back. And for carriers, we already have most of the Japanese carriers. Russia, Tashkent. No, not really. Really isn't much for DDs for Russia. For here, war cruisers aside from tier 8, or the thing that we translated to tier 8. For BBs, we have the Borodino, as well as the Chukov. However, people probably don't want to see another Russian carrier. Germany, really nothing else. Cruisers, nothing really. BBs, nothing really. Actually, the Anhalt. On to the UK. UK doesn't really have much going in terms of DDs, cruisers. The Nottingham, Hampshire. And that's really about it. Colossus, Indomitable, France. Nothing really. Commonwealth. Nothing really. A lot of tier 5s they could add. Nothing really for Italy. Actually, the Aquila, a lot. I've seen a few people want the Aquila in the game. I really don't know how to pronounce it, the name. Nothing really. Some of these look event related. Europe. Japan America is relatively new. I won't bother going over the rest, but I think alternating between tier 7 and tier 8 would be good because um people really want to see variety in the campaigns. Because eventually I'm talking to if any Legend staff watches this, but I'm having variety in campaigns is good because the community wants to see some ships at tier 7 and tier 8, yes. And I don't think it's a really good idea to keep releasing tier 7 ships for doubloons because it just shows that you're wanting money. Which I get it. That's kind of a goal for every company is to make money. But you don't want to influx the in-game store with so many doubloon ships that players are going to be like, I don't want to spend my life savings or money in general just to get a ship that I really like. Start having ships with more that have more in-game currency. Like, I would love to see ships, not bureau projects, that you could purchase with a good amount of credits. Like, have, like, some form of, like, conversion, like, how much credits would 17,000, like, 2,000, like, basically have ships, find out what their doubloon find out what how much they would cost in doubloons, but instead of them costing doubloons, have them cost credits. That way people aren't complaining that, "Hey, stop making your ships worth doubloons." Add steel ships. A lot of people, I'm pretty sure all of the community wants to see more steel ships. GXP ships are a good thing, but I'm pretty sure you guys are restricting that to mainly campaign ships. Make more ships accessible through the in-game currency and not just doubloons. Event-related ships like the Perth or the Nassau, that's fine. Just don't go overboard on it. Another thing is that I've seen this especially from Where Are You Aaron, but fill legendary tier up with more heavy cruiser, more ships. I know that you put that Wargaming as a whole probably doesn't want to like influx legendary with so many ships, but I still feel like ships like Yamato, Shima, and all those are still very dominant, and there still isn't too many counters to them. I feel like there needs to be an update that releases legendary ships for each of the tech trees because we still have tech trees that don't have a legendary ship to go, like the Japanese cruisers, the Japanese gunboat destroyers, Russian battleships, Russian cruisers, both Russian cruisers, German cruisers, German destroyers, UK heavy cruisers, so on and so forth. I do feel like there is still some salvation in the game. Just I feel like it has to be achieved before next year. Because the way I see it, I think this game is on a the way I see it, I think this game is on a downward slope in terms of player base. Sure, yeah, you might have a spike of players every whenever new content drops in an update, but it's just gonna start trickling down because the game is slowly starting to not become fun because certain aspects either are not addressed, they're not added, or they're not changed. Anyways, I'm going to end the video there. I really appreciate anyone who watches this video, but I extremely doubt it because you probably have better things to do. You're probably just not interested in my content. That and I really don't have a steady upload schedule. I'm overall probably just not a popular person. Bye.